Welcome to the Corbellic Art Studio. We're back. We're going to do another painting. We're going to walk through it from beginning to end. This one is going to be a dog. It's going to be an old dog where you can see the wisdom in its eyes. If you have a pet dog out there, or if you have any pet animals, a cat, you can also hit me up for commissions. You can also hit me up for any kind of custom work. I do larger ones as well. But this one is going to go up for eBay's auction, and you could just check it out. So let's get started. No more talking. Turn the light out so we can see what we're going to be working with. Now, normally on the last video, I showed you where I kind of did a background just so I can have a background color. But since the principle's already here, I want to go straight into it. Sometimes it's fun just to go straight into the art and just put down the watercolor image of like just some splashes on there where it's mixed with water and the acrylic. And then we're going to go over it with some pastel so you can see underneath. And then we're going to go over it with the heavy body of the acrylic. All right. So let's get started. You're going to see what I'm talking about. And also, before we start, I also like to have my timer on the side of me. That way I know where I'm at, because I like to work fast. That's where the mistakes come. If you don't have your time or something recorded on the side of you, you'll get lost in the artwork, and then that usually is where you're doing too much and it doesn't sell that well. I'm not going to say that because art is subjective. I can't determine that. The market determines it. But usually that's how it works. I've been doing this for so long. I've sold over 17,000 original paintings on eBay alone. So I kind of know how this goes. Try to time yourself so you can work fast. The faster that you work, the more that you'll make the happy mistakes, as Bob Ross used to call it. And there is where the miracle is, because the work is already there. You just have to pull it out of yourself. All right. So let's try to make these happy mistakes, and let's see what we can pull up with. Let's start the time now. And you can see, like, it's kind of a watery base, right, that I'm doing. And you see how it's like it's still even dripping? You can make those mistakes. It's fine. Look at that. I love that. And people love it too because they like the authenticity. They don't want you to be too perfect and pretty. If you've seen some of my other videos, especially the painting videos, we talk about how in this day and age that authenticity is everything. Even in your artwork and your business, just be yourself. You know, I make so many mistakes, and a lot of times I don't edit out my videos just because I'm like, whatever, let the chips fall where they lay. Because that's where the happy mistakes are. At least people are going to know that you're human and you're not rehearsed and something seems off about you. You got to be human. In this day and age, as I was saying in one of my videos, is that we're all going through something in life. Even if you're a millionaire, or if you have what people on the outside think is a great life or whatever, we're all going through something. So the best thing that you can be is just human. Be yourself. So how I talk about doing art, because this isn't an art class, I say as long as you're using the projector, you're going to come out of what's going to come out of you. I can't teach you that, because only you know how to look at the dimensions, look at the proportions, and you're going to be able to determine what comes out of you. I can't show you that. And that's going to be the same thing of what I'm talking about, is just you being human. Whatever comes out of you, let the chips fall where they lay. People are going to resonate with that, just like they're going to resonate more with your artwork, because it's like, at least you're doing the happy mistakes. All right, so now that we did that, let's dry this off because it's a little bit wet right now, okay? And if you don't know, this is a heat gun right here. This is a Wagner heat gun. All right, so we dried that off right there. Let's turn the lights on just so that way I'm not married to the idea of what the proportions are and what the shadows are. I'm just going to be putting in some pastel lines and colors. Just something funky. These are just the backgrounds. It doesn't matter. There is no right or wrong. I had to learn that with art. It's like it's a miracle how you just really have to trust in the process of what you're doing because it always works out. And maybe that's also telling about life, is that it always works out. Art, I didn't know that art was going to teach me so many different things about life and psychology. And you're going to learn that too. That's why I really want you to start feeling, giving yourself permission to do art, be creative. It's like therapy in a way where it's going to open up parts of your mind that you didn't know that you were capable of. But also that it's just like going to a gym. Things always seem hard at the beginning or difficult until you do it. You do your first painting, for example, you're like, you know what, I could do 20 of these. It's just like going to a gym where you're like, I don't want to go to a gym, but as soon as you do your first rep, you feel energized to keep doing it. And then you realize your mind is the biggest enemy. It's the same thing with art. A lot of times we doubt ourselves about things that we're not capable of, but we are. And it's just really your mind playing tricks. I think that's fine. I want to keep this one pretty simple. Um, yeah, I want to keep this one pretty simple. And let's get back to the projector, turn the light off so we can see what our proportions are and our shadows and lines, okay? Right now, we're currently at 6 minutes. So let's try to knock this out within 4 or 5 minutes, okay? I used the 1/2 inch brush on this one, and I shouldn't have. I should have used the inch brush. I love the inch brush. I wish that years ago that I was using the inch brush. This is a secret right here. Use the inch brush because it's going to give you more of the broad strokes. It's going to give you the confident look. A lot of times I was wasting time when I was an earlier artist by using a 1/2 inch brush stroke or even a smaller one, and I was doing the dibble dabble stuff. And you could tell in the artwork because there's just too many strokes. There's just too many inconsistencies, too much dibble dabble. Instead of, you see these broad strokes, how I'm just going with it. I don't even know what I'm doing. But I'm giving myself permission because I know that it always works out. And then if it doesn't work out, if it really doesn't work out within that time frame, then that's fine. If it's not going to work out within 7, 10, or 12 minutes, then it's not going to work out anyways. And you might as well just get on to the next painting and then take those lessons of where you feel like you made a mistake on the last painting and apply it to the next one. A lot of times when I'm working on a painting, I'm not even thinking about this painting. I'm excited thinking about the next painting. And I think that helps me where it takes the anxiety off of the creation. I could just focus on getting this done. One of my biggest quotes that I always say to myself is, I don't have to like this painting. I just need to get it done. Just get it done and over with. I have no choice. I have no choice but to work in my 90-minute blocks and get the work done. See, I'm looking at myself on the clock right now. I don't have to love it. I just need to get it done. And even though you're working off of a projector, it's also okay to look back at times, whatever you're going to be using, from your laptop or your phone for the reference of that, whatever you're working off of. So that way you can kind of have a principal idea of some of the light areas or maybe some of the shadows. It's okay to do that. You don't have to totally just go off of your mind of what the projector is kind of alluding to. Because right now you can see that we've already made so many of our own lines and our own work that we kind of got lost of what the image is. But that's also great too. Because that way, no one can say that you did everything off of the projector. It's off of your own image and what came out in that moment. You'll never know what it is. Now let's do the eyes. Oh, dog blue. All right, now let's punch it in. After we did the colors, that's what I like to do is I like to use the black lining at the end, somewhat at the end, because really at the end we use the light colors. Or I'm not going to say we, you can do what you want, but that's usually what I like to do. But there's no right or wrong. I'm going to tell you the only wrong way is for you not to show up at all, for you not to even try and do it. That's the wrong way. You can't win if you're not trying. You see, I'm just working this fast. You'd be surprised the paintings that you might dislike or you might think that no one would like. Those are the paintings that sell the most. And then you'll feel confident afterwards when you see that it goes for a certain amount of money and you know that you only did it for 10 minutes. That's the beauty of it. That's why I also advise for you to work it fast. Because you'll see that you'll feel confident knowing that it only took you a certain amount of time to make that amount of money. And here you are, you work a job and you're like, you don't even make that much to earn an hour, but somehow Corbellic showed you the way where you could pump out volume and you can make more doing this than you can at your job by just not caring, having fun, and pumping out volume. And then you'll make your mind up whatever you want to do from there, you know. Hit me up on the link below and we could go through what you might want to do after that. If you just want to do this to make some extra money, some income, nobody knows about it, then that's fine. You could do that too. But if you want to step it up after that, after you see the results, then I can show you how to scale your business too, how to do that and what to do next. Because I've been on both sides of the equation many times. This is so cool. That is so cool. Look at that. Let's turn the lights on and let's just start working off of it. I'm going to do the background now, which is like a little blue. Because for some reason I call this dog Old Dog Blue. And what I forgot to add in my first videos where you can actually find these pieces of art on eBay auction if you want to purchase one of these. These are available in the eBay auction. You can look me up at Corbellic, but I also have a link below of where to find Old Dog Blue. Add some yellow in there, a little bit of orange. All right, and now Now let's add some whiskers and then we're done. Like I said, it's not up to me to decide if I love it, if I like it. I know that I just showed up to work, and that's all that matters. And I didn't have excuses. Just showed up to work. I see that you enjoy my painting videos, so I was like, this is so easy and cool because you're just watching me show up to work. I was going to do this regardless, either if I made a YouTube video about it or not. I'm still just going to show myself showing up to work. All right, let's do this right here like a. All right, no more dibble dabbles. And that's it. Let's add our signature to it and then we're done. It's dry right there. It's kind of dry. So let's add dry here. No, it's not dry. Let's add a signature right there. Boom. And look at that. There's Old Dog Blue. We did this together. Huh? Now the cool thing about this is there's so many different pet owners out there. There's so many cat owners. There's so many dog owners. And you may not realize that this dog, Old Dog Blue, looks like someone's favorite pet, their animal pet at home. And you don't know who the person is, but as long as they're seeing your art and they see that, you know, it's not an exact replica picture of them, they're bored of that. If they want that, they could just print it out. But they see that there's a colorful image of something that looks just like their dog, and then they love it. So if you want to learn more about how you could do this yourself, give you the freedom to do it, click the link below, check in so you can see the eBay art community. And I'm going to check you out on the next video where we're going to do a time lapse of 20 different paintings so I can get back to work. All right, I'll see you later.